How are you guys doing? To be honest, y'all, this one, I just keep finding ways to outdo myself, if I do say so myself. And you know what's so funny is that in confirmation, that it's so funny, guys, because like y'all, every time I get on live, I be like, I'm about to do this. And then right before I get on live, things happen. Right before I get on live, I be like, God be like, okay, I need you to go in this direction. And I feel like the biggest thing is that y'all, sometimes you have to trust in the guidance that you're given. How you doing, y'all? How y'all doing, everybody? How y'all doing up in this bitch today? How you doing, 777? How y'all doing? How's everybody today? Is y'all good? Today has been a really wonderful day for me. And so I'll start there. Now, y'all, I want to talk to you guys, and I want you guys to take a trip back with me to my past. The reason being is because, y'all, there was some shit that I came and discovered, and I was like, ooh, this is tying into some people's reality. Now, y'all, there's a lot of different parts that I gotta touch with y'all today. So bear with me. This is gonna be one of them lives where it's like it might be two parts, to be honest, because it's just so fucking long. Let's start with Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Y'all, earlier today I did a live, and I was talking about pregnant women. I was talking about the women's perspective of, like, you know, getting pregnant. But then I thought, like, I started listening to Drake, and I was like, I need to do the men's perspective. And I want you to hear me. He said, I'm manifesting to win a $10,000 scratch off. I like that, Jai. Get your shit. I believe in you. Hear me though, y'all. I started thinking about men's perspective on when women get pregnant, and you know, it's unexpected. And I felt like I wanted to do their side of the story too. Now, of course, there's the one we always want to be is, hey, you having a kid with somebody that you actually want to have a kid with. But the second perspective is, what if the girl was just a fuck? What if she was just, and to my fams, I know this is, I really hope that this live is to give y'all both perspectives, because I did the fems point earlier. I'll post that on my YouTube when it's supposed to be posted. But this point is like for my masculines. What happens when a woman is called to keep a baby for whatever purpose it is, and it's like, but you don't want to? What happens when a one-night stand turns into a two-night stand, turns into a baby? What happens to a one-night stand turns into a baby? What happens when, damn, I just love that pussy, I don't really like you, and it turns into a baby? Well, then now we got a baby. So let's start with the main point, that if you don't want to have a baby with these people, you should probably not be fucking these people. And two, if you don't want to have a baby, you should probably wear a condom. And even if you do wear a condom, because you know sometimes you get pregnant and fucking condoms break and shit like that. I really think that it's time for us to start paying attention to who we having sex with. Not only because of like transfer of energies and shit like that, y'all. But mainly because, like, just in case you do get pregnant, like I'm literally hearing Just In Case by Jaheim. Just in case, like, you know, you know who you fucking, and you know who you having a kid by, and you know that even if all else fails, and this baby come out, it's alright. You're gonna have a responsible partner. But let's go through, whoop. Sorry, y'all. I'm over here transitioning. My phone keep dropping. That's like the third time my phone dropped today. Okay, let's get into it. Now, what else do I want to say? I kind of want to move through the different types of things that happens. And to be honest, y'all, I really feel like that's the only part that I'm supposed to say. And the reason being is because I'm not a masculine, and I can't really touch on their feelings. But if I'm called to mention more about it later on, I will. I'll let y'all know. There is another part. There was a song that I was channeling today that like kept popping up, and I was like, you know what? I need to bring it to my audience real quick. Certified Lover Boy's album Could Be Significant by Drake, but specifically fucking fans. So I want to go through these lyrics with you guys really quickly. And I want to talk to y'all about them because I feel like there's something within these lyrics that could be significant for what you're going through now. Specifically the second part of the song. It says, it's hard for me to justify the woman I was into, especially when the whole entire world wished they had you. So, to be honest, I feel like this is the perspective of, you know, this is where Drake fucked up. Maybe he was dealing with somebody that was serious, and he went and he was just fucking around, and he ended up having a baby with somebody that he didn't expect, okay? And I started channeling, like, damn, like, well, what makes people do that? If you really care about other people, like, what makes you step out? Or in his example, I don't know if they was broken up or if they was together or not, but it really made me think of, like, if you really care about somebody, why put yourself in that predicament to even chance that shit? But then again, everybody be saying, you know, dicks is dicks, you know, you just be fucking and stuff like that. But I always think like, if you get somebody that you love, why would you put them in a predicament to leave them? But some of you guys, like, it's kind of funny because I'm kind of getting like the channel message that some of you guys they left you. And you know, for some reason, I'm gonna switch gears. I never do this. I never do this. But I'm not called to talk about this shit. I know I'm gonna be called to talk about it, but I'm not called to talk about it right now. I thought I was ready, but yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to talk about this right now. So let's switch gears. It's so funny when guys sit over here and just be like, yep, let's not talk about that. I've never had that happen though. But I feel like it's a pending thought. We'll come back to it if it needs to come back to it. Well, where do you want me to be? Do you want me to be in the past or the future? Or do you want me to just do readings? You said in between. God said in between. You're not talking about it just made so much sense to me. You said it just made so much sense to you. She wish you fucked her. She hope you get what you manifested. I want to start over. But I don't know why. Maybe this could all be significant. Maybe you guys could be in the energy of, like, maybe you start something and it's just like, you just in the energy of just like, I don't want to talk about it. Or I don't want to deal with it. Or I don't want to touch that. So I don't want to. That could be significant. You could be dealing with somebody, and you know what's crazy? Hear me out, because this kept popping up, and I posted a reading and I entitled it this. Someone's went through your phone and they didn't like it, and that kept popping up, and I still have yet to go watch that reading. But y'all be careful of people going through your phone at this time, because that kept popping up like crazy. And even in that song fucking Fans by Drake, he was literally talking about like how somebody went through his song. So that part could have been the only part that was significant of this whole reading. Because I just literally keep hearing probably one that made you hit the hit the streets on everything. Probably want to make it pour bleach on everything. And you know what's crazy is we started talking about pregnancies. So you could have got somebody pregnant. Um, you can be pregnant by somebody that like is in love with somebody else. Um, and they might have found out. Um, and the reason why I say that and the reason why I bring that up is just because I was going through my old journal from like years ago, um, about old experiences and stuff like that. But one of the experiences, I want to read it to y'all because it's actually it was the time where I was dealing with a guy. It was my first love, and he actually had a kid, and I had popped up at his house. And y'all, to be honest, I don't even remember these in details because it was like fucking so long ago, so long ago. Like it's almost 10 years ago. Um, but I said it's crazy how this year is going by so fast. There's so much that's been going on. It'll probably take me 2 pages to write this. I've decided I wanted to be a history teacher. I'm waiting on my acceptance at Metro, however, I pray I get in. I got accepted into Langston. If me and Jay stay together, it'll be 10 months in May. I said Jay is a Scorpio, and it says that Pisces and Scorpios are meant for each other. Anyway, I'm pretty serious with him. I get to take his son out by myself, which is a huge step. I pulled up at Jay's house one day unannounced, and his baby mama was dropping off the kid. I guess the kid said TT's here, and that's what he calls me. He actually calls me TT Mommy, or he called me TT Mommy. But anyway, I'd never met her or saw her a day in my life until then. I was nice and asked how she was doing. I guess that's better than causing a scene anyway. Jay ended up getting a lot of phone calls asking who I was. I guess she was tripping. I don't know what it is, but I keep having doubts about him still messing with his baby mom. No proof, just a feeling. We've been arguing so much lately that, to be honest, if we're not together next month, in a way I wouldn't be surprised. I would be hurt because I do care for him a lot, although he may think I don't. I was going to move out with B, but I'd figured it would be better to save my money while my mom is still here. I'm getting ready to enter the real world in a few months. I said, wow, 18 years. So it's funny because I was reading another one. I just opened my journal today. And I was like, okay, phone calls. You could be dealing with somebody and it's like they're trying to work it out with like, or maybe it doesn't necessarily, because you know, it's kind of funny. It's like I'm getting like, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that has kids. You could have been trying to work it out with somebody that that didn't have kids, like a first love energy, confirmation. Oh, baby, that's late for me. One of my friends came in town and they like, you want to come out? Like, baby, I'll be in the bed. I don't be in the bed, but I don't know if I'm gonna go out. So, anyway, y'all, I was reading it and oh, sorry, y'all, wrong part. That's why I gotta stop getting distracted and shit like that, because certain things don't even mean nothing. How you doing, Sha? Hear me, y'all, though. The reason why, and it's kind of funny that I just feel like I'm like, everything is just coming in all at once. But you could be dealing with somebody and it's like, maybe you're trying to be back with your ex or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if it's you. If it's you, is you dealing with your ex, but maybe you got a baby on the way, or you're dealing with somebody and they got a baby on the way. But heavy emphasis on like, it's like you got a baby on the way and you're trying to get back with somebody. Or take it how it resonates. I can't tell you guys what you guys are going through in life, but I just keep channeling the energy like you're trying to get back with somebody, but you got a baby with somebody else. And that's all I got. The end. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Ancestors, higher beings, high protectors. What you need me to tell? You know what? My mind is like, the way it's thinking right now, y'all. It's like you tell them this, period. That's it. It's like, go to the next paragraph or go to the next story. So that could be significant. Like, it's just like, that's it. Small points. That could be significant though. Like, I'm literally just getting like, this is how I want you to do your life today. Don't do a full story. Here's a point, period. Next topic. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Let's keep going, guys, because there was actually a reading I actually did want to talk to you guys about. But I kind of don't want to read it because it was a little bit traumatic. How you doing, Miss Make It Happy? Y'all, we just gonna go with the flow with this one. We just gonna go with the flow with this one because the flow is, I just feel like the universe is one with us and one with us is the universe. Do you want me to tell this story yet or do you want me to save you? Okay. So maybe this is a part 2 of the beginning. I don't know how they want me to start. And God is just like, however you want to start it. I'm going to start here. Because this is going based off of the somebody picked up your phone shit. This was a time. And you know what's kind of funny is because January 13th could be significant. Because that's when I wrote this on. But it was years ago. So January 13th, pay attention to January 13th. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. It says, there are so many things that have been happening. My first semester is coming to an end. The crazy part is that it's my 18th birthday. Or my 18th birthday is next month. I said, I've been talking to a dude by the name of Jay. I've known him since July. And I really like him. However, I do hate him at times. He went through my phone when I was in the shower. And he saw that I was flirting with other people. He knocked on the door, on the bathroom door, and he started screaming at me. He was like, you over here talking to nigga? This is not funny. This is a really drastic ass part, y'all. So if y'all don't want to hear graphic shit, then, you know, there's that. I want to say, like, he had broke into the bathroom, if I was remembering correctly, but I can't remember. I think he did. Or maybe he just opened the door because it was, no, he probably told me to unlock it because I always lock the door. Anyway, I was at his house, y'all. And it says, he was like, you over here talking to other niggas. Then he slapped me. He went off on me and slapped me again. He choked me and he bashed my head into a wall. Furious and upset, I tried to grab my things in order to get out. He wouldn't let me out though. He wanted to talk about it. I had absolutely nothing to say. I tried it says I tried it must have been 1,000 times to leave, but he would continuously take my things. And when I mean take my things, y'all, he would take my car keys, my phone, sometimes my clothes. Like, I forgot about this shit, y'all. And I don't know why they had me reading this, but it could all be significant. Maybe you could be going through abuse. If you are, reach out to me, okay? We can get you through it. No, like, on a serious note, y'all, like, because I've healed from this a lot. You feel me? Like, I've healed from it. But if you guys are going through abuse, for real, like, reach out to me, okay? It says, he began to cry and tell me how he didn't want to lose me and how sorry he was. But if a man can hit you one time, he'll hit you again. One time, or I said, I think I'm in love with him, but I need to gain control over everything. I just have to figure out how. Sometimes I wish I weren't here and it would make things better. Some of you guys could be going through depression at this time, y'all. So let's talk about that really quickly. Let's have a moment really quickly, because there's a lot of things that I have went through in life, y'all, especially back when I was 18, 17 through 19. I went through a lot of shit in my life, but I have the privilege to say that I am not depressed no more. I have the privilege to say that I've been abused, but like I survived it. I have the privilege to say that like I am over it, and that I've healed from it. And I think that the biggest thing is that throughout life we always go through different stages. We're always at different points. And I think that the biggest thing in life is that you learn from it and you move forward from it. At that point in my life, I was with somebody and I thought that he was my friend, and I really didn't know how to get out of it. And at that time, I remember I wasn't really telling people at all about it. But I remember that a part of me was afraid, and then a part of me was still in love. And a part of me thought that abuse was love. And for some reason, I don't know how that was just my first real relationship. That's just what I thought was normal, because I never had a real relationship to really look at, to justify it. I feel like period. That's the paragraph. If you guys are going through depression right now, understand that you're going to get through it. And I have a video. If you guys are going through depression, there's a video on my YouTube, and it's entitled O3 Flow. Watch that video, because it might help you in this moment. The only way that I got through my depression is by doing things that helped me through it. By doing things that kept me positive, y'all, to be honest. Doing things that kept me positive, and doing things to get me out of my current position, or out of my position at that time, you know. That's what helped me, and continuously moving. Don't keep your ass in the house. If you stay in the house, then you're most likely to sit over here and feel just keep feeling it over and over again. Okay, let's keep going. That's the end of that paragraph. Sadness doesn't even begin to tell my story of sorrow. It's my last year in high school. I just turned 18 a few days ago, and I just found out I'm pregnant. I'm getting an abortion next week, and I haven't told anyone except for my best friends and Jay. When I told Jay, I'm unsure of how he felt, and when I went to see him, he laid on my stomach, and then I ended it there. During this time, I had ended up getting pregnant by my ex, and this was the beginning. And at first he was four, but it was like the middle of high school, and I was literally just like, I can't do this shit. It was like, I was like, I have so much I'm trying to go towards. During that time, like, I was trying to, I was still applying for Howard. Like, my plan was to leave Colorado. Like, that was always the plan. But I ended up staying in Colorado, honestly, for a relationship, y'all. A relationship. I ended up getting accepted into a local school there. And it's like I ended up staying there because that's what I wanted my life to be. And God was like, big dog, that's not where life is supposed to be. Get your ass up eventually. But it took me 2 years for God to strip everything from me. So let's keep going. It says, a lot of things have happened to me. I got an abortion. It was the worst feeling in the world. I wanted to tell my mom so bad, but I just didn't want her to feel that pain. She's a really great mom. And I wouldn't want to believe that my mistake was because of, or I didn't want her to seem that my mistake was because of her. At first, Jay just disappeared. He told me he only disappeared because he doesn't want to get too attached to me, which I believe is bullshit. I do think that he does care, but the abortion hurts him. Memories last forever. And I wrote this at a different date, but it says, memory lasts forever, pain doesn't. A man that puts his hands on you is a coward. I feel heartless. And that any pain I go through, I'll get through. So I remember during that time, one of my friends had went with me to get it. And at that time, I didn't feel any pain because at that time, I didn't know no better about abortions. I just felt like I didn't want to get in trouble by my mom. Even though I was technically grown, I wasn't grown. And it's funny because we were talking about pregnancies earlier. And yeah, it's funny though because I was so young. And I was so afraid. And I remember being in the clinic, y'all. And this might be TMI. How you doing, Blue? But I feel like I have to be real with y'all so y'all could know, like, shit. It's a story. It's my story. But I remember being in the clinic, and I remember there was a guy, and he was just like, it was a white man, and he was just talking so mean, like not mean, but his just energy was just hostile, just hostile energy. And I just remember he was just like, you know, da 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 da, and I don't even remember everything that he was saying to me. I just remember his energy. And I told myself I don't ever want to feel this again. And then I ended up feeling it again when I miscarried. I ended up getting pregnant again by my ex, and then that time I decided to keep it. And God had different plans. And I ended up miscarrying at like almost 6 months. But I felt like everything always happens for a reason. Like everything always happens for a reason. And I think that you guys, the reason why I'm telling you this story is because if you guys aren't supposed to be having kids with people, it's not supposed to happen, you know. I think that a lot of y'all spiritual ladies, even to my masculines, like a lot of you guys are spiritual as fuck. A lot of you guys are like, and you know you're spiritual, but you're only meant to co-create with other spiritual beings. And it's not to say that my ex wasn't spiritual. I just think that his emotions were stronger than his spirituality. And he was a karmic person, and I wasn't meant to have kids with a karmic person. So therefore, I feel like God took my kid from me. Both of them. And so let's keep going. It says, if I die tomorrow or tonight, remember I was supposed to be somebody. I was so dramatic back in the day, y'all. This is when I was like for real. This is like my emo stage. Yeah. And it's not funny, but like it's funny reading back at the old shit that I used to write, because it's so it doesn't make me cringe no more. It used to make me cringe. But like it's just like, damn, like you thought you was going through shit back then. Like, Charlie, you ain't even went through. Now I was going through a lot of shit at that time. I'm trying to be grown, y'all. Trying to be grown. I said, my body aches. I don't know if it's the bruises that hurt more or my heartbreak. I told my mom today that Julio put his hands on me. And I lied and I said it was the first time, but really it was the 5th time. My mom was furious, and she told me if a man would put his hands on you, it'll only get worse. I fell in love with an abuser, and I was even willing to give up my dreams for him. After him, I won't be with somebody for a long time. And I even said, like, I'm so stupid. This is why it's very important for you guys to talk to yourself nicely, even when you are going through dark shit, because sometimes by you being hard on yourself, yourself will sit over here and really start to believe that you are illiterate. During that time, I remember when I told my mom that, and she was ready to go pull up on him, and like literally, like yeah, it was about to be really bad for him. Um, because my mom don't play about me or my sister. And I remember I stopped her because it was just like I was still gonna go back. At that time, you know, it's so funny because I think about the abuse, and I think about and I think honestly I can talk about it now without crying and shit like that. But I think about that shit I was going through, and it was just like when you're in love with somebody, it's so easy to label love like you stay with an abuser because of the love and shit, right? But in reality, sometimes it's just fucking they know how to manipulate you. Sometimes it's the sex, sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes, you know, when you are young as fuck, and not to justify my naiveness, but it's like you don't know no better. So it's like if you think that that is truly what love is, if you have somebody that's crying in your face, saying that they're sorry and they're never going to do it again, and then they don't for a while, and then they pop out and then they do it again, and it's like a repetitive cycle. It's a loop. It's a fucking loop. And I think that the biggest thing is that guys, you guys can't get stuck in that loop. And although, and I'm grateful to say that I have not had another abusive person in my life, and I know that God is like I never will. I still have to share my story with you guys because I know that some of you guys may be currently going through that, or maybe you don't know the signs of if this is abuse, because sometimes, honestly, I was physically abused, but I was mentally abused too. And to be honest, I feel like I could deal with the physical abuse because I fought before and I got my ass beat growing up. So the physical wasn't that bad. It was more so the mental that did a number on me. The physical too, but at certain stages, you know. It says, it says, I'm really trying to figure out my life, but I don't know where to begin. Everything in my life keeps changing. I am in love, and to a degree, he takes part in what I want to do. My mom believes I want to stay in Colorado because of him. Although I want to be with him, that's not the only reason. He was a really big reason, though. He was a really big fucking reason. Um, Colorado is my home, and I can travel wherever and whenever I want to. But I don't see myself moving, at least until my life is together. But when is our life ever together? That's why I always tell y'all, get the fuck out of y'all hometowns, y'all. I don't know if I'll ever be with this guy, or no, wait, pause. I said I don't even know if I'll be with this guy tomorrow, but I do love him, and I want to get my stuff together before our relationship goes any further. I need a plan. Um, some of you guys could be being urged to like really get yourself together before you decide to get into a relationship, and I feel like that's a good idea. Although that's not the route that I took. Very much still prioritize my relationship after this, but I feel like even my past self talks to the future. It says my prom is in 2 weeks. My graduation is less than a month away. It's crazy that this year is going by so fast. There's so much that's going on, and it'll probably take me 2 pages. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I read that part. That's when I read the BM, or that's when I met his baby moms. Oh, going back to that part, y'all, be aware if you are dealing with somebody, like, they could be like, I'm literally kind of getting the energy of like, they could be dealing with their ex, whether if they have a kid or not, and maybe once you pop up, it's like that makes them want the relationship back or to rekindle some shit back. That's what I was trying to tell you guys earlier, but I kept fucking forgetting. Okay, channeling that energy too. That doesn't have to deal with nothing with the kid though. Although I am channeling somebody got a kid on the way. Okay. Um, it said I skipped a lot last month, although many things have happened. I cried a lot, but everything I've experienced is probably for the better. Today marks the best and the worst day of my life. I have not decided which one. He punched me in my face, and he kicked me in my chest. I looked like the fool. I stayed with him through the worst, and just when things get better, he wants to act up. I was done. I'm enrolling into school. Tomorrow is orientation. Um, Doubts are killing my mind, and I can't trust anyone. My great-grandmother died June 7th. It was the day before. Um, he never had punched me before, y'all. But I mean, if somebody literally will put their hands on you and bust your eye socket, like, and bust your vessels in your eyes and bust your lips and shit like that. Like, eventually, like, to be honest, it does lead to closed hand. But I remember the very first day that he had did it, and it was outside of his mom's house. And I remember I dropped to the floor and he wouldn't stop. And it was crazy because I fought him too, but he overpowered me. And it was crazy because at that time, I was in like kind of a fucked up situation. And let's get into why. Let's get into why, y'all. Because the next page tells you, it says, time has been moving fast. Last month was the very long month, however I made it through. A kicked me out and my mom out. We didn't do anything wrong. We paid our rent on time, we kept her house clean, and put up with the bullshit. Anyway, I stayed with my boyfriend for the month, and now we have our apartment. It feels good to have my own place to come and rest and be safe and welcome. I do feel that I rushed him, and I think he feels he had no choice. I was on the edge of being homeless. Jay would give me his last dollar if I needed it, or the shirt off his back. He has done a lot for me, and I appreciate everything. He had lied to me about his relationship with the mother of his child again. I know there is nothing I can do for her to just disappear. I just wish Jay understood that I don't want them acting like a family when I am here as his girlfriend. If he wants her, he can have her, but he keeps me around. Maybe I'm worried for nothing. I just don't want him to hurt me. I leave to Vegas on Wednesday. I feel like in our relationship we have no hold on. I don't know what, I didn't know what the fuck I said. I said we allow distrust into our relationship. So he goes through my things as I do his. But it's not right. We should trust each other with anything. Things in our relationship have changed. He doesn't hold me while we sleep anymore. Only sometimes. I wish he did, but I don't want to seem like I'm complaining about nonsense. I feel like I'm changing as well. It's not about me anymore, it's about us, and it's been a little rocky, but in my mind I believe we can get through everything, as long as we talk about it without arguing and not listening. Moving in was the next step to our relationship. I've been so worried and stressing about everything, and it's time to just enjoy everything. During this part of my life, y'all, I actually had got kicked out of my aunt's house because I had threatened her son that I was going to have my boyfriend at the time beat his ass because he was stealing from my mom. That's why I got kicked out, for defending my mom. The shit I do. Not for being disrespectful, not for anything crazy, you know, just defending my mom and shit, you know. But I remember at that time I was back and forth about him because I knew that he cared about me. I knew that he would do anything for me, but he just so happened to beat my ass. Yeah, that's exactly how I'm gonna say it. He just so happened to fight me. And to people that never went through abuse, y'all, it's kind of hard for me to explain um, why I stayed. It's hard to say. It's hard to explain it because it's like some of you guys come from a healthy love to the point where healthy love is healthy love, like if you have the example of healthy love, like it, and y'all, there's levels of love, right? You know, not even, you know what, healthy love is not the correct term. It's a healthy relationship. um I never really had any form of what love or relationships look like, so I created my own. And I fell into this one. And it's funny because I just didn't know how to. It's like things would be bad and then things would be good and then things would be bad and then things would be good. And then I got kicked out and it was like, okay, well, I went and stayed at his mom's house for a month and it was like, okay, let's get our own shit, and then we did. But then I noticed, it's funny, I always, when I thought about it, I used to think that living with him wasn't that bad. I mean, when you take the abuse out of it and stuff like that, it wasn't bad. But that living situation actually was bad. Um, the reason why I say that is because, like, it was like, I feel like I lost everything in this shit. Like, everything. Um, it says, I try to pretend everything is okay, but I'm scared inside. I feel as though I can't predict what could happen tomorrow. I want to tell Julio how much I am sad and scared and a mess. And I feel he wouldn't care. He barely cares when I cry. I know I'm supposed to be happy for moving out and starting my life. I just feel confused. I feel horrible because I feel that I made Jay do it. I just want to be happy and I don't want him to be miserable just because I am. I do love him with all my heart, and I know that another woman has his, breaks my heart even more. Oftentimes I wonder his true thoughts. Now, to note, Jay was a hoe. Jay was not only messing around with the mother of his kids. He was messing around with exes. He was messing around with other people on Facebook. Like, he was messing around with a lot of people, actually. So at that time, I thought it was one person, but I later, like almost a year into our relationship, I found out, and it might have been a little over a year, I found out it was actually multiple people. The point that I wanted to mention here is that well, I'll get back to that if I need to. The past few days have been good. Me and Jay haven't argued or fought, and we're actually doing okay. I've cooked every day, and I actually enjoy cooking. I talked to my grandmother yesterday about my dad's family. I guess this part is significant because they're telling me to read it. I didn't know if it was significant or not, y'all, but I guess it is. So it said, I talked to my grandmother yesterday about my dad's family. My great-grandmother on my dad's family name is Miniela Mitchell. My great-grandfather's name was Joe Sr. She told me that his mother never liked her until she cussed her ass out. I guess my grandma is a G. It said, I guess she was upset because she felt that my grandmother was taking her son away. Anyhow, my great-grandmother is 93 and she's still living. Hold on, wait. Oh, guys, I think one of my I had two great-grandmothers that had passed away, but they passed away at different times. So this one is still living. That gives me hope that I'll live to that age too, because she was 93 at that time. So I said I wanted to stay. Sorry, y'all, because I'm trying to pre-read to make sure I'm like, what the fuck is this? I said I'll live that old to speak to my grandkids that one day. Um, or I pray to live older than that. I think that's why my ancestors is like, big dog, watch what you say because you can live older than that. Okay. Julio gave me 2 STDs, and although he didn't know, it still upset me. I felt that his ex gave him something way before, but it took me until now to figure out what it was. Nasty bitches. I'm learning how to really become grown, and although I've already known how to take care of myself, I'm responsible for way more. I'm having a hard time trusting Jay. Although I live with him, I just don't feel secure. I feel as though he is messing around on me. I oftentimes think he is messing around, I think on me. But then I think with what time, I don't know. At that time, y'all had found out that he had gave me shit, and I got it cleared up. But I remember how I felt because I was just like, and honestly, y'all, naive me, like thinking back to it, um, I remember that, like, I was fine because I always got tested. Well, I wasn't really fucking in high school like that because this is like a few months after high school. I wasn't really fucking like that, but I remember like, I had got tested and I was fine. And then I remember it was like 1 month I just wasn't fine no more. And then that's when I found out. In hindsight, it's like clearly he was cheating on me, but I think I was in false belief, to be honest, to think that he wasn't. Like, and honestly, like, I think that, you know what's kind of crazy, y'all? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I really chose to believe that this person was a good person. Um, I feel like I'm one of them old ladies from back in the day, like, um, you know, I chose to stay with him for all the good and not leave him for the little bad. But he did a lot of bad, y'all. He did a lot of bad, y'all. And a lot of this shit I forgot about because I've moved on with my life. But I think that I have to tell all of this because some of you guys could be going through the same shit. Now, again, this was over 10 fucking years ago. But it's it still holds true to this day that we go through this shit. We go through people cheating on us. We go through, you know, people giving us STDs, and we're faithful. We're we're only committed to one person. We're in love with only one person. We're trying to do our best for one person, but we're not enough for one person. And then we go out of our way to try to prove ourselves to this one person when in reality, there's nothing we could do in order to be enough. It's either we are or we're not, unfortunately. And y'all, this whole time while I was reading, I kept losing the point of what I wanted to tell you guys was, um, you can't make people happy, y'all. You can't, I kept trying to figure out, and it's funny because I was having a conversation about why I'm so closed off and why I'm so, you know, why I don't get attached to people. And I had a conversation about why, how do I explain it? I had a conversation about like why I'm so detached, and I really realized that even as I'm reading this, that this relationship, it did numbers on me, y'all, at a really young age. And it had me so fucked up on what love looks like when you're receiving it. It had me real thinking I can't trust nobody. It had me thinking that anybody that was going to deal with me like was going to hit me. It had me thinking that anybody that was dealing with me was going to harm me, like, or cheat on me, or like, you know, it really, it did a number on my mental, y'all. It really did. And it's like, even till this day, 10 years later, it's like, it's funny because I've been doing a whole releasing thing, of in this new timeline of wanting love and receiving love and partnerships and all this shit. But it's funny because a part of this journey, y'all, it's like it's going back and realizing what put you in this place of hurt, what put you in this place of brokenness, what put you in this place of like not trusting, of being in pain, of like what. And it's just being so in love and being so trusting and being so hopeful that somebody won't hurt you, because all you're trying to do is show them that you love them. And I loved him a lot. I really did. I loved him a lot. No matter how many times he had harmed me, I did. But I only loved him because he was the first person that showed me, although he harmed me, that he had my back. I knew that with this person, and I know it sounds kind of weird, even saying it out loud. I knew that he would have my back. He would give me anything. I knew that he would, if I needed him to be there, if I needed him to fight people, even though it wasn't even like that. But it's just like, I just knew that he had my back, and I just felt like I owed it to him to have his back like he had my back. And I don't know how to explain that to y'all, but that. I felt his emotions on a deep level spiritually. And it was like I felt him, y'all. I was an empath before I was an empath. I knew he loved me. I felt that. I felt it. And before I even knew what empaths was, I just don't think that he knew how to love me correctly, because I don't think he was ever shown how to love correctly. I think he was neglected a lot by his mom. Even though he was raised by his mom, and, you know, his dad wasn't the best dad, but his dad was there. And I really fucked with his dad, too. I loved his family. No diss to his family. It's just people's upbringings really matter, y'all. And it's funny because I've talked to him years later, and I was the person that broke him. Not broke him in a bad way. I think broke him, and I hope he's never put hands on another woman, but I really don't know that part. But as far as maybe never trusting somebody, or maybe not harming them again, maybe in a sense you could say he never really loved again. Maybe it was until you do right by me, you'll never experience it again. Because I know that since then he has he was telling me that he had a kid, and he was telling me about his life and how, you know, he still doesn't have anybody. Like he does, but it's interesting to see that. And it's funny because he was like, after you, I just feel like I never attached to people. And he was like, with you, he was like, I knew that I loved you through a spiritual, because I felt it was like we had a spiritual connection, but it was like it was karmic as fuck. It was it was sick as fuck, y'all. It was, if we knew how to love each other correctly, it had the potential to be beautiful, but it turned sick because we became possessive over each other. We became obsessed with each other. We became to a point where it's like we couldn't live with each other, but we couldn't live without each other. It was fucking nuts. I said, if I leave, I'll cry. I'm sure for some time, but eventually the heartache will go. Jay didn't come home until 5 a.m. Not to mention he was fucked up beyond normal. I don't think I make him happy anymore. I shouldn't have moved in with him, because now I feel obligated to stay at least until the lease is up. I'm done fighting. He can do whatever he liked. I'm done trying. Everyone has left me high and dry. No one wants to talk to me. So instead, I'll just worry about myself. And if I do leave, at least I know I'll never come back. I remember Jay wasn't a big drinker. He smoked. He was a smoker, but he wasn't a big drinker. He didn't do drugs like that. And if he did, like he didn't have an addictive personality and shit like that. But I remember he was the person, he went to work, he came home. He went to work, he came home. And then there was a time where it shifted and it started to get to where, and actually I think that was one time, but after that he started to not come home. And then I started to realize there's nothing that I could do. Sometimes you know that your relationship is over before it's over. But sometimes you hope that it's still, sometimes you hope that it's still fucking, that it still works. School begins in less than a week. I've decided to move into my car. I won't tell anyone where I'm going. For everyone's sake, I'll just tell them I still live with my boyfriend. I don't want to live off anyone, and I can save money doing this. Everyone is unhappy with me, but to be honest, I'm unhappy with myself. I have school, the library, and the gym and to fall back on. Nothing can stop me from getting my education. No one will know but me and God. I think I'll learn to be more thankful and also more educated. Many cries are ahead of me. So this part, y'all, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I didn't move into my car. Not this time. This is why you got to be careful about what you're manifesting. Because I manifested this 4 years before I fucking even actually was homeless and did live in my car. So it's kind of funny. The irony. Watch what you ask for. Watch what you write down. I didn't move out into my car. Today I woke up in a shitty mood. Today wasn't the best day. But for now on, I'm determined to have nothing but great days. I miss the days where I only thought positive. I miss the days when doubts were in my head. I guess those were the days I was getting cheated on in. I'm sorry, y'all, because this shit is funny to me. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate it. Maybe that's why you had me wear all this fucking yellow, because I did not want to put this shit on, and God was like, put that yellow on. It's because of all this dark shit we talking about. It's like, you got to brighten this fucking mood up, because y'all, I really have healed through this shit, but I feel like I'm reading this for a reason. So let's get into it. I start school tomorrow. It's my first day of college, and I'm more tired than I am excited. I just want to be happy with the man I love, and I want him to be happy too. Some of you guys could be in a balancing period in your life. I remember that the only reason why I fucked up in school was because I was prioritizing my relationship. I also remember that, like, I was over here trying to be stepmommy, trying to be a good girlfriend, trying to live and have my own apartment and go to school. Yeah, I was doing too much and work full time. Yeah, I was doing too much at that time. I couldn't sleep last night or this morning. I'm seeking to be happy. I started school, but I don't feel like I'm giving it my all. That would change. I started to think about how in the beginning of our relationship, you could go away for 4 days without speaking to me. And it did bother me, but not too much. Now that I think back, I start to think about now you would disappear, or how you would disappear. And about everything that was hidden from me. When you hide so much from a person, you can't help but to wonder what they're hiding, even when it's nothing at all. Jay stopped going to work and he seems happier, but it could be because he caught up, or it says Jay didn't go to work today, but it could be because he was trying to catch up on sleep. I have been happy for the past few weeks. Me and Jay went out to the club. We went bowling and out to eat several times. I overthink everything, even Jay's love for me. Many women would say, as long as he's spending money on you, your relationship is great. However, I don't feel that way. I worry about his feelings and his happiness and his brain, his heart, and his health. Look at me just being a caring ass bitch. Shout out to me. His everything. Cause y'all, you know, this is probably after I turned into a savage. That's a whole nother book though. I just can't figure out if he's happy or not. I don't want to be content. I want to be happy. I want the same for him. But oftentimes I get the feeling that his heart is still with other women. People tend to want someone that doesn't want them. But now she says she does want him. So who am I to know if he's living with me because of stability or because he's settled? Or who am I to know that he loves me with all his heart and will give me any and everything to show how much he cares? I figured out that I need to worry about my happiness. I can't force anyone to be in love with me, to be happy, to be who they aren't. And I want Jay's heart and soul, and I want to know he's mine, that regardless of bitches in the past, I am who he loves and I am who he'll forever love. I feel as though I put a lot of commitment. I put a lot into commitment, but in turn, I almost always get fucked over. No matter how nice I am, no matter how mean I am, I just wonder what Jay wakes up tomorrow and realizes this, or I always just wonder if he wakes up and wonders if this isn't what he wants, then what? Or worse, what if I wake up tomorrow and I'm done? That's when we're in way too deep. Y'all, I used to be spitting. I used to be writing. I still be writing, but I be writing about different shit now. Which is actually probably a good ass fucking thing, because shout out to having better days. Y'all, this is when I really was like in a stage where I feel like I was just like trying to, how do I want to say this? Trying to like, and I'm gonna keep it a being with him, trying to live in that man's motherfucking skin. Like trying to control him, trying to figure out how he feels all the time, always trying to make sure he's good. Always just like, y'all, I don't even know where the fuck I was taught that. I just felt like that's what I was supposed to be fucking doing. It's crazy because it was like, it started with him always being up under my ass, always checking my phone, breaking my phone fucking so many times. Like it was about him, and then it turned into me. I used to be chilled back, like relaxed, like not really, like I used to just be cool. Like I had trust, I had everything, and it's just like, and then it became insecurity and shit like that. And it's just like, what the fuck? Reading this shit, it makes me think like, damn, I see how it's funny because each page, and these are months in between, some of them are, and it's like I see how the insecurity crept in, the jealousy crept in. It's like, it's funny. The worrying kept in, the fucking mistreatment, the hate, like it's like I really see how I went from loving this person to hating this person, and it's funny because I don't hate him, and hate is a really strong word, but y'all, I see the transition, and it's like the transition is crazy. Y'all, to be honest, I'm trying to fast forward to the point, because y'all, I went through a whole year of going back and forth, because here we are a year later in this shit, still talking about like going from good to bad. I just want to fast forward to the part where it's like where I finally left. Yeah, I think I wrote some shit against myself. It's funny because I want to, like, y'all, I really do want to fast forward through all this shit, but I feel like all of this is significant. And I don't know fucking why. Are we okay? How you doing, Authentic? Are we okay, y'all? If we okay, I'll continue the story. I don't know why any of this shit is relevant, to be honest. But I think it's relevant. So I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna finish telling the story. I don't know where the fuck my water is. I thought I brought my water. You said we good? Okay. As long as we okay. That's all that fucking matter. Cause y'all, I'm just reading and I'm just like, okay, let's keep going. So fast forward to a year later. It says, I just got a job working as a dentist receptionist. Well, really, I just schedule appointments. I'm thinking of getting another one to help get out of debt faster. I want to start investing into real estate. However, I don't have the money to do so. It's time that I figured out a field I believe that could be dental. Today, Jay told me that he only enjoyed the sex and nothing more or less anymore. I figured out that I've been losing feelings too. I just didn't admit it until now. I'm staying here because he can't afford this place without me. It gives me time to fix the apartment and get my credit and life back together. As far as a relationship, that's non-existent. At that time, y'all, there was holes in the fucking wall, y'all. That house was tore up. It wasn't that big, but there was just shit you had to fix. I don't particularly remember that day, but I mean, to be honest, he always said fucked up shit. So to be honest, it is what it is. I woke up in to a bed filled with my boyfriend and his kid. I've come to know him, or I'm gonna call him, because I say his name a lot. Well, not that much. I'll call him L though. I've come to know L as my own. He calls me TT Mommy. He's only getting older and so am I. I laid in bed with Jay, and as he complained about it's too hot, although we decided we were together, I don't think that was the right choice. I'm scared that I'm pregnant with my own baby, and I don't even know how to make a baby stop coughing. Although in the future, it will be funny right now, and it is kind of funny to be honest. Right now, I don't feel like a woman. I laid in a bed, and for the first time, I felt as though I didn't know who I was laying with. I never had children before. Maybe Jay knows more and has more experience, but if we stayed together and we later had kids, I think I'll feel dumb the whole way. And although he's doing it while being unaware, he will give me shit for the rest of my life. I'm trying to figure out if I ever loved him or did I just force myself into thinking I loved him. All I have is me to understand and me to get. No one will listen to my sad songs anymore, not even me. Yeah, at that time, just a friendship tap in. I cut off my friends. So yeah, that's where my friends was. I remember his kid was sick, and y'all, there was a lot of good moments that I had with his kid. I was actually a really good stepmom to his kid. When I think back to it and being around other kids, like I really was. But I just remember, when I first got with him, I think L was one and a half, going on 2. And there was just so much where I just felt like when I didn't know what to do, I would just be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, and I remember Jay was very like, he just knew, like, I mean, but he had a kid already. So I don't know. That was one reason why I was like, I'll never have kids with somebody that has kids. Because I was like, at least if I'm gonna feel stupid, like I'm gonna have somebody else that feels stupid with me. It's so funny. Because I was just like, there was just times I was just like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing with these? Like, certain things is common sense, but certain things I was just like, how am I supposed to for real even take care of some shit? Yeah, it was some motherfucking shit. You say, you made me grab my old journal earlier. I was looking at old video. I'm telling you, Sakura. In my life, so much has happened. Dun, dun, dun. I was so extra. I'm an extra ass person. Ever since, even 10 years ago, y'all. It says, in my life, so much has happened. Dun, dun, dun. My mom got remarried. My sister won't talk to me. I'm pregnant. I'm wrong. in everything I do, and it's not good enough. And everything I say, I'm corrected, stressed, and stressed. I'm being cheated on by women that don't mean anything, quotations. You only put up with what you think you deserve. God, 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 I pray to you because although I face many problems in my life, you're the only one that hears me, the only one that sees me through everyone's lies, even mine. Nothing left to say. That's when I had found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, was I not pregnant that long? How long was I pregnant? You know what, y'all? I was not 6 months pregnant. I couldn't have been. I couldn't have. Oh, wait. Maybe so. February, March, April. Hold on, wait. February, March, April, May. Like 4.5. Because I'm like, I was not that far along. Wait. Everything is fine. Everything is good. But I'm not okay. My baby's not okay. My life is not okay. And right now, I don't care what others say about me being pregnant. I just want to hide and scream. I want my baby. I want my family, but I can't have it. And I want my college degree, and I can't get it because of money. And then I ended it there, y'all. At that time, y'all, imagine adding a baby into this all fucking stress. In that moment, y'all, I was, and it's funny because I have like the Young Mothers Clinic, Medicaid, food stamps, WIC, and all that shit. I was really about to be in the system, y'all. Nothing wrong with the system, because shout out to the people, shout out to the state that helps women, period, and men too. But I remember prior to this, I told myself, I was like, because I see my family go through the system, I was like, I'll never live in the system. And it's funny, I didn't. I think I had food stamps for like 1 month, and then it was like gone. It's very interesting times though. It's very fucking interesting. I remember during this pregnancy though, he didn't want it. The first one he did, this one he didn't though. And I could understand, because yo, after seeing all the shit we was going through, like, it only makes sense. Don't ask me why I was trying. Honestly, y'all, I think I wanted that pregnancy just to keep. It's not that I wanted it to keep him, but a part of it was him. But maybe a part of it was like actually wanting somebody that loved me. I pushed everybody away. Everyone I felt was against me. I didn't know why. I was blinded by love, and I put myself through a lot because of it. This is the first part of my life where I can look back and say I fucked up big time. I want to look back and tell my grandkids I made it through it. Jay was truly my first love, and he was everything. He was smart and dumb in a dumb way. He was handsome. He was loving. And he would give even if he didn't have anything to give. He cooked, he cleaned, he rubbed my feet, and even was good in the bed. He did have issues though. He was evil. He was mean verbally and physically. He had a short temper, and he always had something bad to say. Towards the end is when I stopped loving me, when everything fell apart. I can't decide on if I want to bring my baby girl in this horrible world, or if it's best to stay out of it. I don't know how far along I am, but I'm growing fast. I can tell she's a girl. She's literally taking my beauty from me. Tonight will probably be the last time I see her dad for a while. I was so upset that I tried to fight him. His dad got me off of him and pushed me towards the door. James came outside, but walked back immediately inside. He closed the door in my face while I was screaming out of anger. At that moment, I knew it. This time was for real. He doesn't care anymore. That was just an argument, though. That was the first time that I had actually fought in front of his parents. And to be honest, y'all, we fought about so much shit. I don't even know what the fuck that fight was about. I'm not even gonna lie. It says, understand that you can never trust a man. You can never trust anyone. Y'all, this is how I know. Like this. And God, all of this that I'm speaking out, just know that this is my current reality. But I know you know that already. So there's the, just say, I'll say a prayer after this. It says you can't even trust yourself. I put nothing past anyone. With a man, they can say that they love you, but tell another woman the same thing. Another woman can claim to be your sister, but wish nothing bad upon you. Your family can say how much they love you and how thick blood is, but will be the first one to turn their backs and throw you under the bus. That is called life. Put yourself first and no one else. Y'all, I really hate this thing against my family too. Like I felt like I really felt alone for a really long time. I forgot to write about my experience in the hospital. I took my ultrasound. Also, I took blood and answered questions about my genes and about the father of my child. It's crazy to see pictures of my child in my stomach. The ultrasound hurt. I guess I should write to you, my unborn child, because it'll be you that reads this journal. I love you and so does your dad. Your dad just doesn't show me that he loves me anymore. No one really cares about me but you and God. That's unconditional from the beginning. I loved you until I'm gone, I'll love you. And even when I'm in heaven, I'll love you. I started work again yesterday. I work in a law office. At that time, y'all, I had switched, I had switched from dental office to law office because the dental office was like racist as fuck. Short term, that's the short term answer. I know you hear me yelling and dressing. My hands are swollen red. I probably woke you up for real. I say, can you hear it, baby? Can you feel my pain? My anger and my sadness. Can you think yet? Do you feel the worry I do? Daddy doesn't want you, but I will forever love you. I thought about an abortion again today. I looked at the first dress I bought and I cried. I cried about killing you. I cried because your daddy said he didn't want you. I cried because he said he wished you were dead. If you die, I die. Your brother L felt like my first son too. He was my only kid and I felt that. But your dad told me today that that will never be his kid. That will never be my kid. You see, daddy doesn't care about mommy and that's why we couldn't be. I fought and I tried and I've cried and I'm sorry that I love you, my unborn child. I write this with tears of pain because everything I've heard was true and from the mouth. During that time, yeah, I was going through a lot because he really didn't want it. And it's funny because sometimes I think that spell work was put on me and on my child by his family. But it happens, you know. Sometimes I feel like God allows dark things to happen to you in order to bring you guys into honestly, to make you stronger. But not only stronger, it's just like I feel like God only allows things in because if y'all couldn't hear from this whole shit, it's like this was nothing but toxicity. This was nothing but pain. And it's funny because y'all, I predicted I was having a girl before I knew I was having a girl. Now that I look back at it. Last Thursday, I found out I was having a girl. And I also found out that she has I forget how to say it, gastroschisis, some shit like that. I'll look it up later. But that's when your intestines are out of your body. I also found out that she has a small hole in her heart. I forgot about that part. The doctor said, don't worry because it's small. It's small to notice, but he said a cardiospecialist and other people are going to have to take an ultrasound from children's to monitor everything. I cried and I've been crying because my baby could die of infection. You can have a stillbirth. You can have growing problems, and she can be healthy. So many possibilities. I'm scared to death. Everything else is healthy about her. Her brain, her spine, everything but her stomach is small. Every day since then, I've been questioning, what did I do wrong? Was it because of the first abortion? Was it because of me trying to kill myself with Benadryl? I'm responsible and I'm sad. Today I thought maybe it'd be better if I got an abortion. The problem would go away, but my heart and soul would never be okay. I have no one to cry to, and I have no friends or family because I faked this act of being strong. I don't have Jay because he never wanted to be there in the first place. The only person I have is God. That's the only person I will have. During this time, y'all, it's kind of funny because I mentioned the act of trying to kill myself, but that was back in, like that was years ago, like prior to this pregnancy. So I don't even know how it would like coexist with both, but honestly I just think that y'all, and I want to say this while I'm reading this, is because if you guys are going through depression, your baby can feel that. If your baby is sad, like your baby can feel that. If you're mad, they can feel that. And that's why I know that I want to bring my kid into a world that I am at peace at. And I really feel right now, y'all, I'm at peace. And it's funny because I think about kids all the time, and it's like, you know, I'm glad that I reached a peaceful place. I'm glad that I reached a place of where it's like I'm not sad no more. I'm not angry no more. I'm glad I'm not depressed no more, because when I read back onto this stuff, it's like, damn, like I was really in dark places. I really felt alone. I really put myself in bad situations. I chose to stay in bad situations more so, but it's all because I thought I knew better when I didn't. I feel like I have nobody. My mom doesn't like me because of her husband. Jay is so stuck on his mom's titty that he doesn't realize that his mom is trying to be a part of our relationship. How sad and pathetic. And I have to say this, we went over to Jay's mom's house almost every day, if not every day. I think maybe not once. He was very much a mama's boy. And I really fucked with his family. I really did. Shout out to his mom and his dad. But it was just too much. It was just too much. I've been getting close to Shar lately, and I think we're realizing together that our boyfriends don't respect us or care about our feelings. I hate being alone and being stuck. I hate my life right now. No one wants me around L anymore, so I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let everything be. Everyone wants to stick up for the person in the wrong, so fuck it. I remember at that time, I kept catching him cheating or like talking to people online. And I remember his sister was like, girl, just let him. Like, excuse me? Every time I would try to explain my case, they would take his side. But I mean, that was his family. What else was they supposed to do, you know? I lost my baby girl on May 7th at 3:15 a.m. 10.5 ounces and 9.5 inches long. I spent 9 days in the hospital. I caught pneumonia. My heart went into failure, and I was on an oxygen machine almost the whole time. I was poked 26 times. My veins are busted. My skin is bruised black. My body doesn't have much of an appetite. My water broke on May 6th. My contraction started 2 days before. I don't have the energy to write the details in chronological order. I was discharged from the hospital yesterday. Right now, at this moment, I'm worried about myself. I damn near died worrying about someone else. I see myself slipping away every day. I see myself being undervalued. I see myself becoming weak. I see myself putting myself down because I expected a man to give me the love I wasn't giving myself. I was worried about a man hitting up females when I wasn't worried about myself. I worried about what everyone else had to say, but the last person I was worried about that I cared about was myself. Me as a person had died. When my baby died, that's when the person died. Jay told me he wanted to marry me. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie to me. He doesn't love me, and I don't expect him to. I don't want him to. It's sad because I only have to worry about me. At that time, y'all, that was probably one of the worst times in my life. Because I was on the outs with my best friends. And I remember I had called them and I wanted them to be in the hospital with me to tell them that I lost my daughter. And I told them after and they felt bad, but I let it go. I remember I spent one day in the hospital before, and I left, and I ended up getting really sick after I had lost her, and then I ended up having to go back to the hospital for another 9 days. And I remember of those 9 days that I spent in the hospital, Jay didn't come. I think he came the first day, and then he never came again. I was literally there by myself, and my mom was out of town on vacation. She ended up flying back in sooner. But I was just in the hospital alone, y'all. And I remember I didn't have my phone because Jay broke my phone. And I think I had my laptop, but that was it. And I just remember just sitting there, and everybody would come in and they would ask me about, oh my God, I just heard you just had a baby. And then I would have to explain to all of those nurses, all 18 of them, that I had lost my daughter. And it was funny because for most of those days, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And for most of those days, my heart was like, it kept going really, really fast. And then really, really, like it just kept beating super fast. I ended up catching sepsis too, though. It was a few different things. But then I ended up having to take heart medicine at fucking 19. Like, how does my heart go into failure at 19? Pneumonia, okay, cool. I had too much fluid in my fucking uterus, and it spread to my lungs. But it's like, all of that shit, it was just like, that's why I think that I was spiritually attacked, because it's like, you guys know when you're spiritual, you guys have a lot of people try to attack you, or there's a lot of attempts on your life. But it's like, if God has a purpose for you, y'all, like, nobody can ever take your life. And that's why I always say that I'm protected. My unborn child. You look like me and your dad. You have your dad's mouth, lips, and the parts surrounding it. You have my nose. Your eyes, I can't tell. They were shut closed. Your fingers were long like your dad's, but shaped like mine. You were only 22 weeks, but you already had hair. You had your dad's cheekbones. Your eyelashes were blonde. You were born with your intestines out, and I woke up out of my sleep to go pee. Everything felt normal, except I felt you coming out at the end of my pee. I screamed for your dad, and the nurse came running in. I don't know how, but a piece of you was hanging out of me. The nurse held your legs while I stumbled to the bed. I went on all fours, and then I turned over onto my back, and I pushed you out in 2 pushes. I didn't feel pain. You came out feet first, and then a blood clot, and then a placenta. Your dad held you. Your heart was still beating. You moved around a little and I felt your warm body scratching at my butt. You died in your dad's arms. He cried a lot, but I couldn't. Not yet, at least. When the nurses left, I cried, and we cried. Me and your dad shared the heartbreaking feeling, and I'll never forget that pain we felt. And I'll never forget that hurt in your dad's eyes. His soul seemed broken, especially when he saw you look just like him. I was discharged that afternoon, and I went back 2 days later. I stayed for 9 days. I remember there's a lot of times, y'all, that I couldn't cry during moments where I probably should have cried. It took me years to really get over my daughter's death. It took me years. Because how do you really get over somebody that is your child, you know? I guess you really don't. No matter what bad things you're going through in life, like, you just don't. And it's crazy because my kid was formed, like, she was formed. It wasn't like she wasn't a person. She was a person. She had a body. She was a person. It wasn't like she was born and her heart wasn't working. Like, she was alive. He complained about me not hanging out with my friends, as if I already didn't know that it was a problem. 0% with friends, 100% with Jay. Now it's going to be 0% with Jay and 100% somewhere else. I don't have friends because everybody is fake, even my own boyfriend. He's worried about himself. I feel my stomach and it's empty. Georgia, you're really gone. It's been 20 days since you've been gone, and still I keep thinking that you should be in my belly still. I see all these pregnant women and they make me mad because you're supposed to be here. I don't know if my heart or my stomach is more empty. Me and Jay have been fine, but we still have our moments. Jay talks about having another baby, but right now I'm still in pain. I don't even want to touch him. I don't even want him touching me or my vagina. I feel traumatized and I'm just sad. Yeah, it's not talked about how much, like, even after a baby, sometimes men try to sexualize us, and sometimes, depending on how we grieve, some women aren't open to that. But I know during that time, I wasn't, I didn't want to be touched for a very long time. After that, even after breaking up with him, I didn't want to. I think I was never really okay sexually until years later, like years. It's funny. I can't be with you. I can't even get money to pay for your ashes, and I have nobody. I figured out a piece of what was missing. My happiness. I'm finding little pieces each day, and I'm not with you. All you do is bring me pain. Your only concerns are your friends and your hoes. Well, neither of them deal with me, so I'm reliving my past and finding where I lost myself. So it's too late. Happy 1 month birthday, Georgia. This will be my last night in Jay's mom's house. This will be the last night I'm with Jay. As much as it kills me, I'm moving back to my mom's. I'm slowly getting my shit together. Jay rather party tonight than stay here and try for me. All he sees me as is a crybaby bitch that complains about everything and everyone. I'm not that at all, but I don't owe him an explanation for shit. He complained about everything I said. I've decided that moving on is the best, and I won't look backwards. When I think of Jay, all I think of is all the bad, and I can't think of one good thing. He doesn't care. He doesn't do anything, and I always did for him. He isn't even working, and he will wash his clothes, but not mine. He'll put all his things up. He won't touch anything of mine. I can't think of one good thing about our relationship. All we do is argue and fight. That's what our relationship has been, and I'm tired. I'm tired of showing how much I loved him and only getting spat in my face. I couldn't even tell him anything without him disrespecting me. Love is not in our relationship anymore, so I will hurt now, but I'll be okay in the future. It's funny. I'm drinking this wine like a message is in the bottle. The only message I'm finding is fucking him. Fuck everyone. It was actually fuck him and then fuck everyone. The only thing that hurts more than this is losing my daughter. Dying shit like this makes you want to go away for a long time. I was really depressed in this message. I remember that was like one of the last nights, and I had got like these Shutter Home bottles, and I was drinking. He had went out, and I think that next day I left, or maybe the next few days I had lived. I said I moved back to my mom's house. I'm really sad on the inside. I have no one in my corner, not even my own mom. I'm angry at everyone, and I don't want to be bothered by anyone. Anytime I ask for help, everybody says that they don't have it. The same day, okay. This is a whole nother conversation. I was going through a financial bind, and my mom had just bought a house and stuff like that, and I was taking it out on her. Like I was asking her for things, and I was really upset because she wasn't helping me. But her money was literally tied up. I said, I just need this job at the post office and I'll be fine. I haven't been eating right or much. My mind has been all over the place, and I keep asking for help from everyone, and no one is here for me. So I'll just do it myself. I have to do it myself. I just don't want to ask anyone for anything anymore. Happy 4th of July. And that's when I left. And then that's when my life changed. And y'all, I'm gonna read this one because I want to end on a fucking happy note. It says, I got the job at the post office. That was 4 days later after that. Yesterday I went to take my drug screening, and they emailed me right after with a job offer. I miss Jay, but I've been meeting people every day that treats me way better. One has been letting me drive his Camaro. The shit that I used to that is so funny. The shit is nice. Right now, I have to do what God wants me to do. There's nothing left out of that relationship until he gets himself together. And even then, I don't think so. Happy birthday, Georgia. I love you. You'd be 2 months yesterday. Days are still hard, but I'm getting through them. I'm gonna leave it there. Y'all, that was a lot. That was intense. That was... Y'all. Damn, it's 8 already? Damn. Well, my bad. I was supposed to go somewhere by 8. Maybe I wasn't. I'm always right on time. Ugh. Now let's debrief. God, ancestors, sirens, high protectors, please remove all that dark energy that I just entered and anything that I spoke out against me and against my alignment. I ask that you remove it and not let it prosper or not let it exist in my reality. Amen. Now getting back into it, y'all, the reason why I read that is because I felt called to. They told me to grab it, and to be honest, I feel like it's for y'all more so than for me. Maybe for me too, who knows? I don't fucking know. Even Charlie has went through shit, which I know Charlie always went through shit. I think the biggest thing is that, y'all, you can remove yourself from a relationship when you choose to. You can choose to remove yourself from a bad situation when you're ready. I think the biggest thing in your life in this current moment is that you guys need to start identifying and start realizing when it's time to leave. And sometimes when you're stuck in the motions, because I spent a lot of time fucking going back and forth in that relationship. Sometimes you don't know until you know, or until you're forced to know. And sometimes God will remove everything. I had lost my apartment, my car, and everything behind that situation. And I got everything back times 10. And there's that. Ancestors, higher beings, higher protectors, help me to channel for the collective. I feel the need to say, if somebody hits you, y'all, let them go. If someone cheats on you, let them go. If someone hurts you, let them go. Now, it's simpler for me to say that in this moment because I know better. But the internal thing that I've learned from all of it is that if people truly loved you and they loved you like in a true healthy way, then they wouldn't hurt you. Because people that love you don't hurt you. People, like, they can love you, but it's like, if they truly did, I really truly believe that they wouldn't do anything to lose you. Now, people can go and feel unappreciated. People can go and, you know, become insecure, maybe even jealous. But I would like to think that if you love somebody, you would let them go before it gets that bad. Channel for collective. I feel like I want to do a reset. Like I just want to do a reset, yeah. You know what's so funny is because y'all, when I read my old journals and I talk about God, I guess I've always been connected to God. Like when I talk about spirituality and like for real doing readings and guidance and, you know, really listening to God's guide me, I like to say it started almost 2 years ago, but I look back and that was 10 years ago, and I reference God a lot and I talk to God a lot. I've always talked to God all my life. But it's just very interesting how my relationship with God has developed and changed over the years. And I feel like I would like to say it's strengthened. And more so, I think that God has always loved me. I think that God has always guided me. I think God has always knew what was right for me. And it's funny because I remember in that relationship, y'all, I used to pray to God. Like literally, I used to pray like, God, please get me out this relationship. If you get me out this relationship, like, God, I would never go back to this person, and I would go right back to that person. It was like I was playing in God's face. And every time it was after he would hit me. Yeah. In this moment, God is sitting over here telling you guys that no matter what you guys go through, no matter what mistakes that you make, no matter what is happening in your current reality, no matter if shit's not sweet, I just feel the need to sit over here and say, know that God always has you. The reason why I say that is because sometimes we are the people that put ourselves through mental anguish. But in reality, God is like, if there's a blockage, I'm going to help you. If there's something you're going through, I'm always going to send help in order to get you out of that situation. Understand that nobody is more powerful than me, and I think that you guys need to understand that. A lot of the times the devil or bad energies or negative energies wants to take credit for what God does, but in reality it's not true. In reality, it's just we go through our ways of life, and sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we play parts in it. I look back at those readings and I look at how much I played a part in shit too. It wasn't just Jay being bad. I was bad too. Me participating too. I think the biggest thing is that sometimes it's easier to go back and look at what I could have did and what I should have did and talk about how things could have been better. But the point of the matter is that, well, then I wouldn't have learned the lesson. And then I couldn't have had the strength in order to actually move forward. And I think that that's the biggest thing is that that's why I go and I talk about my experiences with you guys to help you guys avoid it too. Sometimes you go through pain in order to learn from it. But if you're not learning from it and you're repeating it, then that's when the trouble comes. If you go through things and you go through experiences and you keep making the same mistakes and you're not learning from those mistakes, well, that's when things get a little bit tougher. In this moment, God is sitting over here saying, because finances is here on the board right now. If you guys are struggling with finances, just know that God is giving you help or sending in help, but also he wants you to balance it. In this moment, God is like, it's not a blockage. I'm giving you exactly what you need when you need it, but it's literally going to turn into the Ten of Pentacles. To those that are having hard times, like really like figuring out if somebody is for you versus if they're not for you, well, how do you feel? Do they make you feel like you want to run away from them, or do they remind you of their past or of your past? I think in these moments, it's time for you to really get real on what's going on in your reality and get real on what it is that you want out of life, out of love, shit, maybe out of kids. And I think the biggest thing is watch what you say, because it's funny. There's so many things that I manifested. There's so many ill things that I wrote down about that relationship. And had I learned the power of my words, the power of my thoughts, the power of me being a powerful manifester, maybe that relationship could have went different. But to be honest, I'm still grateful for that experience. And I think that that's why it's so important for us to be positive, and to view every experience as, damn, I went through that shit, but I got through it. And the reason why is because you create your own reality, y'all. But not only you creating your own reality, it's more so like we're responsible for making sure that these kids don't repeat what we had to go through. We're responsible for making sure that people in our future doesn't feel what we have to feel, even y'all. That's why I tell y'all my story. I don't tell y'all my story to feel bad. I tell y'all my story in order so y'all can avoid the mistakes that I made. And although I was young, and although we could sit over here and we could cry tears together, it's like I've healed from that. But whenever I'm called to tell that story, it's always a reason. It's because somebody is going through it, or, it could just be within pregnancy. Pregnancy has been highlighting the readings lately. And I just think in partnerships have been highlighting the readings too. And I feel the need to say that sometimes the good things, you expect good things to come, but sometimes bad things happen, and you just have to be able to identify when it's time to get out of that situation, when it's time to run away, when it's time to leave things behind. And I think that it's easier when you have people that won't judge you for it. It's easier to talk to people that went through it. It's easier, because if you're talking to scorned people, that's just like, you just need to get out of it. You don't hear them, because it's just like, but I loved him. The only thing that made me leave him was literally because there was nothing. I literally felt so disrespected by him, and I just felt like there was nothing keeping me there. And I remember I told him, I was like, either I can't remember exactly but it was an ultimatum, and he chose the other thing. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm leaving. And I left. and I never looked back. And he tried to call me. Tried to reach out to me, blew me up on Snapchat. He tried to get me back. But I feel like once God pulls you out of a situation, there is no going back. And I think that that's a full conversation, y'all, that y'all have to realize. Just taking it off of abuse, because I'm tired of talking about it. Just because it's negative. Just because it's just like, it's just time to move on. And that's not how I want to start the new year. Sometimes you have to look at these situations and the people you're dealing with, and truly be, I'm gonna keep it being with you. Be honest with yourself. I really need my water, y'all. I'm gonna have to go grab it in a second. I don't got no pants on, so y'all gonna have to wait. Long story less long. Are y'all doing okay? No problem, Ladybug. I just feel like I just want you guys to know that shit, Big Charlie got your back. If y'all are going through abuse right now, hit me up. If you lost a child, hit me up. Because I know what it feels like to be alone, and I don't wish that upon nobody. Like, no fucking body. Shit, I don't even wish you getting cheated on nobody. That shit sucks too. All that shit sucks. I feel like I gotta I should end on like a good note though. Let me respond to this text. I am not going nowhere. I do not feel like going nowhere. Let's get into some positivity. I need a positive note. We need some positive shit. You said doing much better for knowing you are with me. Issa, right on time. I always come into people's life when I'm supposed to. Channel for collective. I kind of want to do like a future reading, like on your love life. You know what, y'all? What I'm about to do is I'm gonna end this live because I feel like this is just a heavy ass live. Cleanse this space, and then we're gonna get back into your positive messages, because y'all need some positivity in your life. But I gotta cleanse my space real quick, okay? So give me a second.